Someone asked about taking a character, putting it in a game in Beam NG. Now I got this off Turbo Squid, which is you can get a lot of free stuff off of there. But I downloaded the OBJ format, and I also had to download the textures, and then in here I had to more or less open the texture that I also had to download to go with it. Now, this thing is about 25,000 polygons, which that ain't too bad. But what I'd say to do is put an underscore A, maybe 1,000, depending on how big you want this thing to be. 1,000 will be this level of detail, then we'll duplicate it, and we'll say make this one at 500 level of detail. Hide the 1,000, that way we can see what we're doing when we decimate this one. And you know, how far down can you go and it still look like something? You know, be alright. And then duplicate that one. Maybe put 150. Hide that one, and let's try to reduce it some more. Let's try to use the planar decimate. And we get it down to, I mean, this is going to be really small when you see that version anyway, so it really don't matter. It just gives the game just some different LODs that it can, you know, shift between. I wouldn't use this thing as a collision mesh the way. I mean, it's a lot of polys, but you could. I would just say if you're going to do that, then use the lesser, not the lessest. Maybe this one would be alright. Or you could just make primitive. And what I'll do sometimes, I'll just like make a mesh plane. I'll scale the damn plane up pretty large, and I'll subdivide it a lot. Not a whole lot. But I'm basically making like a blanket that you just drape over it. For a collision mesh, it'll be a lot less polygons. And it's just a matter of how is it going to shrink wrap to it. Value not set. What the hell? I don't know why that happened. Oh, I got the, dumbass. I picked the wrong damn thing. Pick the plane. Shrink wrap. Shrink wrap. Yeah, see that didn't quite cover it very well. Be better off just making some primitives, like primitive, like very primitive, like I mean like primitive. Something like that, and join these together and make this the collision mesh. And you get a lot more performance. And just add two empty plane axes. base 0, 0, and the other one is start 0, 1. Hold shift, left click, drag, and drop. Or select this actually. Select start 1, hold shift, left click, and drag and drop. And then open that base where you just put that start, and you can move these in here the same way. Or you can select them all by holding shift and then holding shift again to slide them into there like that. Now this is pretty large object. Like you can measure this thing, it's like 90 meters tall, which I'll just leave it like that. But this is pretty much ready for the game. The only thing is the texture for it is Venom. I'm just going to copy this to the clipboard, because I'll show you a quick way to make a texture. And just copy this folder, and then let me rename this folder to Venom, because this is about to move into our level. Now we'll paste this object into here, and we'll change the texture. We'll put in the name Venom, and that also needs to go here and here. And the texture name is venom.png. I would convert that to a DDS, but I ain't gonna do it for this video. I just leave it like this. Ground type, I don't mean that. I wouldn't put nothing in that. Save. Now we'll take this folder and we'll put it in a level that we want to test it in, which I'll just copy it to the clipboard and go in the small grid. For example, level, small grid, art, and paste it in its own, so it's got its own folder, basically. As long as the material is with the, that ain't a DAE, but as long as the material is with the DAE file and the main materials files in there, you don't have to put a location where the color map texture's at. It'll just know it's in there. Now we just have to export this into the folder. The DAE actually, you wouldn't select selection only, because you want all this collection, the entire thing to go. So let's find that folder, which is in the levels, small grid, art, Venom, and that's where he's gonna go, Venom. It don't matter if that's checked or unchecked. I mean, the texture is already in there. I already put it in there. Let's load the level and put him in there and show you how easy that is. Now making him into a mod, that's a whole different thing. It's a whole different topic. Basically how I made those primitive objects, you basically got to make a bunch of primitive objects to contain the different body parts, and then cut the body parts so that they're little pieces, and then attach them all. It's a lot of work. I'm not very good at it. But people are really good at doing that stuff. I just haven't made enough of them yet to make anything great looking. So this is our Venom that we just got out of the blender. And as you can see, as he gets farther away, let me see if I can grab this arrow. As he gets farther away, he reduces in quality, like he's supposed to. That way it's a little easier on the CPU. Now I could take it one more step farther. I could go into the base 00 and add a new empty. This one I'll hold shift, left click, drag and drop in base. This one goes in base, not in start. Base 00, name this BB underscore auto billboard 25. And what that'll do now is it'll make him turn into a two-dimensional sprite, or polygon rather, when he's very far away. Where the hell? There he is. See, when he's really far away, he'll change. If I can get him to get far away, I can open it in shape editor and force the detail on it and show you. Detail level 1, 2, and there's the billboard. So depending on what view you're at, you'll see, a very crude, two-dimensional. It feels like a bear almost, doesn't it? A very crude representation of him, but it shows you polygons, 2 polygons for this one, 1200. For that one's 8,000. That one's 47,000. I said 20 something thousand. That shit's got a lot of polygons. So, and then of course, we'll go to the camera. Tell him to move to camera. Now these is very, like I said, very primitive polygons I made for the collision mesh. If you go into your, where is it at? Ground model debug, and I open this up, I can show you the collision mesh. And you see these are the primitive collision meshes that basically make the object. But yeah, some people like to just, you can tell it to be visible mesh final and it'll use the actual mesh itself, but that's a lot of damn polygons. I've noticed when you use high polygon meshes for collision meshes, it makes the game stutter really bad. So the simpler you can get it, the better. I mean, this is actually too simple, but I wasn't going to spend all day making a damn collision mesh. So we'll rebuild the collision, then we can test it. Throwing pieces of the car on it. Trying to grab the car. Drive it, still drives. Keep dropping that far. But it didn't perfectly line up with the damn thing. I didn't spend a long time setting it up. And so I didn't even make anything for the foot, really. But that's how that would work. Now, if you wanted to animate it or something like that, hide the collision mesh. I'll just show you something very simple to do. We'll hide the other LOD, so we just got the highest LOD. And we'll go into edit mode. And we'll just, I don't know what you want him to do. His head to kind of turn a little. Turn on X-ray so I can select everything. And then I'll just select that. This is going to be very crude, but it'll work. Mesh separate by selection. Now in here, let me rename this to just the head. We'll just say in frame 60. Turn on auto keying, this auto keying thing. Then we'll start actually, let's set the origin for the time being geometry to origin. Nope, wrong one. Set origin to geometry. That basically makes this thing pivot on its own axis. But that's not right. So what we need to do is move the 3D cursor to where this thing should be spinning, which is probably like right in here somewhere. Actually, it should be lower than that. It's hard to move this 3D cursor where you want it. And you can open this tab, view 3D cursor, and just get it where you actually want it to be. I'm just trying to center it, kind of like where the, damn, I didn't mean to get over there. Went the wrong way. So that's where that's at. Now I can actually tell this thing to set origin to 3D cursor, and how it'll rotate on that axis. But This is not going to look right just because it's just real quickly cut. You know, I just did something quick just to kind of show you how you could do this. I'll copy this first frame and drop it at the last frame just so that it's a, damn it, hit the wrong thing. Copy, paste. That way our animation kind of somewhat, you know, does like that. I mean, you can select all these and tell the different interpolation types be different things. I personally like to use this one because it's kind of like a robot kind of thing, you know. But we'll export this, overwrite the other one, and you'll see he will now, well, he won't animate because I forgot to fix the damn head. See, this is what happens when you don't set the origin correctly. That head don't know where the hell to be. See, I moved a 3D cursor to a place that's not like where it's at in the game. So I'm gonna put this 3D cursor back to its home position, 0, 0, 0. Now, set the origin of the 3D cursor, apply all transforms. And that's what it's doing in the game. Ah, crap. Well, if we go into the game, we should see it doing that too. I don't see it. Just reload it, re-export it. He's all messed up now. We done screwed up Venom. We done messed him up for sure. He ain't even animating now. Let's see. What did we do wrong? That definitely ain't gonna work. Let's undo. Let's get back in time. Now let's do this. Let's go to Object, Animate, Bake the animation. Bake it. So now that it's baked, it shouldn't matter where the origin's set for any of these objects, as long as the 3D cursor is at its home position. Let's set the origin to 3D cursor, apply all transforms. Now it should animate like it still isn't animating, right? I don't know, folks. Because I'm making a video, I'm overlooking something. I'm not thinking of something that... Let me just clear all this. Let me think for a minute.